juggling with a ball than he was at actually catching one. As Grobbelaar fumbled, Liverpool faltered. But since Christmas, Liverpool's form and Grobbelaar's has been a revelation.
What a good save by Grobbelaar.
With improved form like that, Grobbelaar can now look back on his earlier mistakes with a refreshing honesty.
I didn't help the team at all, really. But then again, it's a 12-man team. And, you know, maybe everybody wasn't pushing together. And it's a team game. But Liverpool have shown character to come back, and look where we are now.
And now his Boxing Day display against Manchester City is just a painful memory.
It was a very wet and slippery day. The second goal came out to punch the ball, didn't punch it at all. And, you know, I got caught out with it.
That's a penalty.
The third goal, it looked as if I threw it in the back of the net.
It's gone in, and Grobbelaar's misery is complete.
He's now a better goalkeeper, but at heart Grobbelaar is still an eccentric, and his handstands at Wembley when Liverpool won the League Cup seem to confirm just why some fans call him the clown.
It all started here, actually at Anfield, with the Goodison people from across the other side of the park. They gave me the nickname the clown. It was because I do antics that no other keeper does. And, I think it's the fans that you've got to please, because they pay your wages.
Touched on to Harford and a good return ball to Evans. He's perhaps overhit that, but Van Merlo chasing all the way, and the rather eccentric skills of Grobbelaar perfectly demonstrated.
But not all of Grobbelaar's sprints from his line have ended happily. This mistake against CSKA Sofia in Bulgaria led to Liverpool's dismissal from the European Cup, as Grobbelaar readily admits.
I had like a flash, you know. I wanted to get into the game, and I was too impatient. And that's where they got their goal from. I came for a cross there, and that no keeper would ever have got anyway. And I was caught out off my line, and the fella just headed a simple goal.
Well, these days, Grobbelaar guards Liverpool's goal in a less spectacular but much safer fashion. And with no less than 30 clean sheets in his first full season, Grobbelaar can certainly afford to smile at the memory of the clown with slippery hands.
I think the days of the clowning business is gone, I think. I've just got to be a normal person, do the job to the best of my ability from now until the end of my career.
Still danger here, a lot of Birmingham players forward. Langdon tries the shot, and another fine save by Bruce Grobbelaar.
Cover was there. Drop point, the Scots unveiled a player whose performance on his debut was rich in promise, Celtic's Charlie Nicholas, a young man who, after idolising Kenny Dalglish as a youngster, suddenly found himself lining up alongside the great man. It was a moment which would have been too much for many players, so was Charlie overawed?
Oh, it was a big step. I mean, when I got told I was playing, I was delighted, you know, but like I said before the game, you know, like I said, once we get out, I've got to do it, you know, it's not a matter of me sitting back and idolising him, I've got to go out and do it with him.
And Charlie was to show the confidence and cheek within his game in the opening minutes, a little back heel which almost put Dalglish clear. Although the first half was frustrating, there were still moments when the Celtic striker reacted with typical speed to take on the Swiss defence. In this case, his final shot was blocked, but fell invitingly to Kenny Dalglish. And it was their partnership which encouraged Jock Stein.
Oh, they played well together. He's always liked Kenny Dalglish as a player, and admires him, and he's always looked forward to the day he could play alongside him. And I think tonight proved that they can play alongside him, and maybe his name will stand alongside in the future with him as well.
That's a good ball forward, Charlie. Nicholas couldn't quite get it down. Goff is pressing forward again. Here's Nicholas. High steep ball inside. Can he do it? Brilliant move. Dalglish totally outnumbered. Look at the way they massed in front of them. Oh, beautiful dummy. No, just not quite coming on. But what I do like about that, and applauded by Dalglish, is the understanding that has been established between the younger and older man. Nicholas wanted it. Nicholas taking over. What a second half he's had. Well, there's a neat little jump, and it's off the line.
Just 3 examples of the marvellous skill of Charlie Nicholas, and Jock Stein himself was quick to praise the debut and potential of the young striker.
He's obviously was a player of character and great ability early on, and he's a goal scorer, he's a natural goal scorer, and he changed his game a wee bit. At half-time he was told to come a wee bit deeper and start going at people, and he did that quite well. Once he started that, he always looked like getting a goal.
McLeod's great header. Nicholas shielded it very well again. There's Nicholas drifting, and there's a great shot. Brilliant play by Nicholas. And he goes again. Drifts in, and he's almost done it again. It must be Kenny Dalglish can't put it away. Souness, unbelievable this season.
And there was more to come from a 21-year-old who scored over 40 goals this season. But did he lose heart?
No, I mean, I thought we were going to get a goal at some stage, but it was myself, Ken, or somebody else, you know. Because, I mean, we were making the chances well enough. It was just a matter of, like I said, when the opportunity was going to arise for us. Well, like I said, I had to be quick on it, you know. The boy was a wee bit slower than I expected, and I suddenly got away from him, you know, which suited me.
What a shame Charlie couldn't have been on a winning side on his international debut, but if the Scots were disappointed with their draw, imagine the scene in the England dressing room at Wembley following the Group 3 game against Greece. After winning 3-0 in Salonika 5 months ago, England failed to pierce the Greek defence even once. And in the closing minutes, Bobby Robson and his men had to endure the wrath of the Wembley crowd.
Greece have shot the European Championship, and England in particular, by holding them to a 0-0 draw at Wembley. A quite dreadful result for Bobby Robson, and a very unsatisfactory England performance in every sense.
Just a month to the Hungary game. Unlike a club manager, you don't have time to do much work on it, do you?
No, I sit and stew for a month and get myself all aggravated and so forth, but I'll calm down. I mean, I'll look at it in the cold light of the day tomorrow, and I mean, yeah, it's no good being miserable and pessimistic about it and think everything's gone and it's lost and it's dead. It's not like that at all. Football comes along, as you know, where you get an unpredictable result, and it's disappointing because everybody thought we were going to win about 5-0, having won 3-0 in Greece. I accept that. I mean, I'm sorry that we didn't win for the crowd, and yeah, they give it to us at the end, and that's fair enough. We have to accept that and be above that, if you like, and work for the next time.
Actually, only 3 England players escaped criticism from Bobby Robson: Peter Shilton, Terry Butcher, and especially little Sammy Lee, who the England manager singled out as a great example to his teammates on and off the field of play. Today, Sammy returns to a Liverpool team who look certain to repeat last season's double of Milk Cup and League Championship. Liverpool kick off the holiday weekend 13 points clear in the First Division, and following last Saturday's memorable 3rd successive triumph in the Milk Cup, this time against Manchester United.
McQueen looks for Whiteside, took it down beautifully, turned away from Hansen. Whiteside, what a fantastic goal by the 17-year-old. Here's Souness. Neil, he hit his hand rather, that wasn't intentional. Wilkins, Johnston, Lee. Again, the outlet is the fullback, Kennedy. It's in! Here's Dalglish. Shot struck Macari. Kennedy. Whelan. And again, Whelan's curled it! Brilliant goal! Ronnie Whelan, who got 2 last year against Spurs, has scored the second for Liverpool today. This man has won 19 major prizes, and he finishes up quite rightly and properly as a winner. And all Bob will say, I'm sure, is thanks to his players, and the championship is still to come.
Yes, and how can you bet against Liverpool retaining the title? Second place Watford at West Ham today are 13 points behind, and Manchester United, who meet Coventry, are a further 3 points in arrears. Liverpool's opponents at Anfield this afternoon, though, are one of the most improved teams of 1983. That's Sunderland, who by the end of October were clear candidates for relegation.
Wallace doing well to Birtles. And Wallace again. What a magnificent goal by Wallace.
That defeat last November left Sunderland next to bottom of the First Division, and by December the 28th, when Liverpool visited Roker Park, they hit rock bottom. But the score that day was 0-0, and since then Sunderland have gone on to set a club record of keeping 6 consecutive clean sheets in the league with just 1 defeat in 12 matches. Manager Alan Durban naturally deserves much of the credit, while the blending of new signings Frank Worthington and Leighton James with local lad Gary Rowell has been a key factor. Rowell, in fact, has scored 18 goals this season, is rated by Durban as one of the top 6 strikers in the country, and throughout his time at Roker Park has always managed to be able to find the net.
Ball is in there. Rowell is there. Oh, what a good finish.
Now, while Sunderland have climbed to almost certain safety, relegation from Division 1 seems to concern 6 clubs, 4 of whom are in opposition today. Birmingham meet Swansea, and Luton Town play Norwich at Kenilworth Road. To their credit, Luton have continued to adopt an attack and entertain policy, despite taking only 4 points out of the last possible 18. So let's hear how manager David Pleat views the situation. He's been talking to Barry Davis.
David, when you look at what a year has done to you at Luton, has it changed your philosophy in any way?
I hope not, Barry. I mean, I don't think I've teetered. We've tried to keep doing the things that we've been used to over the last 2 or 3 seasons. We've had the pressure over the last 3 seasons, but at the other end of the table. But we've just got to try and pretend at the moment that there's no pressure there, and we're trying to gain self-respect now. We're trying to play better than we have been doing, and as well as we can, which we haven't been doing recently.
That's very complicated. I'm wondering about the pressure, though. I mean, does it vary from being at the bottom end and being at the top end?
Well, it does. I mean, we've never felt that we'd be in amongst the bottom end, because we had 1 or 2 very useful results early on, and we played some very attractive football early on. But we've had injuries, and 1 or 2 players have suffered a loss of form, or shall we say lapses of form. And as a consequence, we haven't really got the staff or the squads of some of the, shall we say, big city teams that we can manoeuvre around with. So we've had to let them play through that type of bad patch. But I feel we've got enough ability in the side to produce very good football and to get goals, which our record proves. Unfortunately, at the other end, whether it's youth or inexperience at this high level, we've conceded goals, and that's been our downfall so far.
As a manager of a club that finds it fairly difficult to make ends meet, do you look with envy on the clubs at the top who, if things go wrong, can